All right, good evening po sa inyong lahat back there in the Philippines. And of course, good morning coming here from the US. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Marami po tayong nakikita ng comment na nandito sa ating YouTube and Facebook. Mamaya ko na po isa-isahin. All right, so again, tonight we are going to have still 20 items for general education and also 20 items for professional education. Of course, the materials will still go straight to GROW. As to how you can still be part of GROW, I will be talking about that later. Ma'am Rachel Abuela, maraming salamat po sa iyong napakaagang ayuda. Thank you so much po and God bless, Ma'am Rachel. All right, but before we start, we of course are first going to start our prayer today. This is the first time that we have our prayer. And of course, the leader of today's prayer is Pastor Efren. Okay, so I'll turn you over to Sir Efren. All right, hindi pa yata nakakonect si Sir. And so we are going to just proceed. Sir Efren, mamaya na lamang po lagay po natin sa closing part natin. Okay, so again, if you are still not part of GROW, GROW is Gurong Pinoy Review Online Work Group. This is our exclusive FB group. And this is where you can find all the exclusive materials that we're sending the students, also additional materials that we can send you and we know that is going to help you pass the LET. Okay, so again, if you're still not part of GROW, it's very easy to become a member of it. You only need to pay 500 pesos. That's through Palawan, Cebuano, or ML. The name, all the details are there. And of course, another option for you, if you can't go out, is to send us a super sticker, just like what Ma'am Rachel did a while ago. It's during our live streams, but you need to go to YouTube, okay? You can't send a super sticker as payment on Facebook, okay? So it's only going to be through YouTube. All right, so again, this is how you can become a member of GROW. So if you still want to become a member of GROW, be an exclusive member of GROW, and receive all the exclusive materials that we have, then just follow these procedures here, use all the details that you find here, and be one of our kaguro on GROW. Okay, so again, today we start with GenEd. We go with question number 1. Please be ready with your writing materials. Okay, your notebook and your pencil or your pen. We start with question number 1. Oh, but before that, very important, I almost forgot. We are going to have our online acquaintance party, of course, with the theme Learn, Earn, and Join the Fun. And we have 4 competitions. Okay, the first one is t-shirt design. Second one is spoken poetry. Then we have singing. And of course, we have the TikTok dance. Now, that's going to be held on Saturday, September 12, 2020. That's 7 p.m. still PH time. If you'd want to join this and you are still not on in our group chat for our acquaintance party, there is a post on Gurong Pinoy's official Facebook page. Make sure that you check the post and then you just comment there. Our class secretary, Ma'am Ella, is going to just add you into the group chat. Okay, so again, that's going to be on Saturday, September 12, 2020. All right, now before we proceed, again, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page or follow our Facebook page. And we'll start with the first question for GenEd. Okay, number one, the Philippines is predominantly a Christian country, yet, according to surveys, it is on the top 5 as the most corrupt nations in Asia. What does this point to Philippine society? Letter A, prevalence of xenocentrism. Letter B, lack of cultural integration. Letter C, presence of cultural differences. Or letter D, prevalence of ethnocentrism. Ano kaya ang tamang sagot for question number 1? Okay, this is in the category of social studies. All right, good evening po sa inyong lahat. Ma'am Samantha from Hong Kong, good evening po. Those people who are on Facebook, please start a watch party. Or you may also share this video on your Facebook account. Maraming salamat po. Hi, Ma'am Jackie Lou on Facebook, new subscriber. Maraming salamat po. Okay, now many people on Facebook are answering with the letter D. Dito naman sa YouTube, okay, here on YouTube, a lot of people are answering with D, my A, my B. Good evening po, Ma'am Priscilla Llamas from Pangasinan. She says, stay safe, everyone. Okay, going back to the question here, the Philippines is predominantly a Christian country, yet according to surveys, it is on the top 5 as the most corrupt nations in Asia. So what does this point to Philippine society? Okay, ano kaya ibig sabihin nito? Is it the prevalence of xenocentrism? Okay, we have colonial mentality. Xenocentrism, of course, we think that other people's culture is better than ours. Lack of cultural integration. Letter C, presence of cultural differences. And letter D, prevalence of ethnocentrism. Ethnocentrism naman is the opposite of xenocentrism. When you say ethnocentrism, you think that our own culture is dominant over other people's culture. Okay, now the correct answer here, of course, would be letter B, the lack of cultural integration. We know that many of us are Christians, may it be Catholic or any other denominations of Christianity. And but the sentence here says we are one of the top 5 as the most corrupt nations in Asia. That means our culture, of course, religion is part of our culture. Religion has really not gone as far as how we act in the government, most especially when we're talking about corruption, then we point to the government. Okay, so we say there's the lack of cultural integration. Okay, hindi natin sinasabuhay yung mga natututunan natin sa ating simbahan. Okay, so letter B po is the correct answer. All right, now we go to number 2. How do you describe a typical social structure which describes a pattern through which relationships at work are ordered? Is it letter A, communistic, letter B, capitalistic, letter C, bureaucratic, or letter D, technological? Ang aga ng tsamba, sabi ni Sir Pinoypreneur. Watching from Bukidnon, good evening, Sir Joseph Concha. Ligwak. Ligwak agad. All right, again, if you are on Facebook, kindly share our video, or also you may watch you may start a watch party. Thank you po, Ma'am Samantha Moralde, for sharing our video. Magandang pasimula, sabi ni Ma'am Arlene Garcia. Okay, tama ang kanyang sagot. All right, now what about for number 2? A lot of people on YouTube who have already answered think it's letter C. Dito sa Facebook, what's your answer for question number 2? This is still GenEd. Okay, so there's C, there's B. Okay, Ma'am Jacqueline, good job for question number 1. Okay, iba-iba yung sagot nyo sa Facebook. Good evening, Ma'am Ophelia Samson, all the way from Abu Dhabi, Abu Dhabi, UAE. So, afternoon yata dyan. Good afternoon po. All right, so again, going back to the question, this is still in the category of social studies. How do you describe a typical social structure which describes a patterns for which relationships at work are ordered? Is it letter A, communistic, letter B, capitalistic, letter C, bureaucratic, or letter D, technological? Now we go to the next slide. These are the 3 types of economic systems that we have in the world. The first one is capitalism. Second one is socialism. The third one is communism. Now, capitalism is an idea from Adam Smith. Okay, so this means a laissez-faire economy where society's interest is best served when individuals in that society are allowed to pursue their own interest. Okay, so that's by Adam Smith. That is capitalism. So when you say capitalism, anyone can start a business. Okay, so that's a market economy. Businesses and individuals can decide what to buy and what to produce. Okay, so that's your market economy. So anyone can start their business. Now this one, the second column naman is socialism. Okay, for socialism here, the aim of this is to have equitable distribution of income, elimination of poverty, distribution of social services, etc. Okay, so one example of this would be your social recovery programs. No, now here in your socialism, we have what we call command economy. Imbis po na market economy, command economy naman siya. The government decides what will be produced, how it will be produced, and who gets what is produced and the price. Okay, so it's a command economy. It is controlled by the government because its aim is to equally distribute income. Walang yayaman ng sobra, walang magiging masyadong poor or purita. And the last one would be communism. This is, of course, by Karl Marx. And for him, he called this a classless society where individuals contribute based on their capabilities and receive benefits based on their needs. Okay, so this one naman, the government owns almost all of the economic resources and they practice a strictly controlled type of socialism. Okay, so this is one type of socialism, but this is just more strict. Okay, this is stricter. This is strictly controlled type of socialism. Now, if you are in Grow, this picture is already there in your Grow, so there's no need for you to copy anything. All right, now some of the things or some of the countries that are practicing this, of course, we know that in the Philippines we have capitalism, no? The US is also for free enterprise, so capitalism po yan. Socialism, you have Sweden, you have Finland, and India. Now, for communism, you have, of course, the communist countries like North Korea, Cuba. Okay, so these are some examples of your communist countries, even Russia. All right, so these are the 3 types of economic systems. Now, when you say bureaucracy naman, bureaucratic theory, this is an idea from Max Weber. So he said bureaucracy is the most efficient form of organization. The organization has a well-defined line of authority. It has clear rules and regulations which are strictly followed. Okay, so if you have bureaucracy, this is the form or the system that we follow in the government. So there's the president, there's the designated responsibilities for our president. Then, of course, we have the vice president. Ano yung mga responsibilities ng vice president? You have senators, you have the congressmen, etc. Okay, so that's bureaucracy. There's a structure within your organization. Okay, so structural organization siya. All right, so going back to the question here, how do you describe a typical social structure which describes a pattern through which relationships at work are ordered? There's an order. There's a manager. There's the people under the manager and so on. Okay, then of course the correct answer would be letter C. Okay, so letter C po ang tamang sagot. All right, now of course when you say technological, this is just pertaining to our technology. So the correct answer of course would be letter C. Now we go to number 3. Jose Rizal is to El Filibusterismo, as Graciana Lopez Haina is to blank. Okay, what do you think is the correct answer? Sir Mark Prince del Campo, maraming salamat po sa inyong pakape. Thank you so much. Sir Efren, were you able to join po the live stream? So that we can put you towards the end po. Okay, so karamihan na nandito sa Facebook, tama ang sagot. So question number 2. Now, what do you think is the answer for number 3? This is literature. Good evening, Ma'am Edna De Luna. All right, so going back here, it's Jose Rizal is to El Filibusterismo, as Graciano Lopez Haina is to blank. Okay, so would that be Ninay, letter B, Fray Butod, letter C, Macarios Noche Buena, or letter D, kadakilaan sana to, no? Hindi kadakilaan ng Diyos. All right, the correct answer here, of course, would be letter B, Fray Butod. This was written by Graciano Lopez Haina, so that would be your correct answer. Letter B po ang tamang sagot. Good evening, Sir Gino Raffol. Now, what about the rest of our choices here? Ninay, of course, is considered to be the first novel written by a native Filipino in the name of Pedro Paterno. Okay, so that's Ninay, the first novel written by a native Filipino. Take note of that. And the author, of course, is Pedro Paterno. Macarios Noche Buena was written by Tarsila Malabanan Katigbak. I'm not sure if she is related to Sir Carlo Katigbak, no? But she's from Lipa, Batangas. Then, of course, we have Kadakilaan ng Diyos, which is one of the writings of Marcelo H. Del Pilar. Okay, so the correct answer is letter B. That's Fray Butod. Fray Butod po, letter B. Ninay, the first novel by a native Filipino, Pedro Paterno. Then you have Macarios Noche Buena by Tarsila Malabanan Katigbak. And Kadakilaan ng Diyos was written by Marcelo H. Del Pilar. Okay, we go to number 4. Category Math. A 4 centimeter by 7 centimeter rectangle is rotated about its long side. What is the approximate volume of the cylinder that's generated? Is it letter A, 750.25 cubic centimeters, letter B, 176.36 cubic centimeters, letter C, 351.68 cubic centimeters, or letter D, 615.75 cubic centimeters? Going back to your question, Sir Efren, if you may use a laptop po, please let me know po if you can use a laptop. Okay, Sir Edgar Peralta is joining us tonight here on YouTube. Okay, so sabi niya mahina daw yung signal sa Facebook, so dito siya sa YouTube. Okay, so phone lang yung gamit ni Sir Efren. We will check po if you can. Later po, towards the end na lamang po yung ating prayer. All right, number 4, people on Facebook. No one's answering yet, so nagsusolve pa kayo. Again, if you are watching on Facebook, make sure that you share our video so that we can, or start a watch party so that we can help more people like you pass the let. If you're on YouTube naman, pwede din naman niyang i-share sa inyong Facebook profile. Okay, now people on YouTube are starting to answer. My B, my D, my A. Okay, here on Facebook, I see the answer of Sir Sonny. The rest of the people, okay, my C. All right, let's go to our discussion here. Okay, so for number 4 here, it says a 4 centimeter by 7 centimeter rectangle is rotated about its long side. What is the approximate volume of the cylinder that's generated? Okay, so you have your rectangle It's rotated on its long side, and of course, the width of this is 4 centimeters, and the length is 7 centimeters. Now, the question is, what is the approximate value or volume of the cylinder that's generated? Now, of course, this is your cylinder, okay? And the formula for the volume of your cylinder is pi r squared height. Okay, so pi multiplied by radius squared multiplied by the height. Okay, and then you can see in our illustration here, you can see that you can insert your rectangle here. Okay, so that means 4 centimeter, which is your width, that's going to be the radius. Magiging radius po yung 4 cm. And the height, of course, that would be the length of your rectangle. That's going to be 7 centimeters. Okay, so the height is going to be the length, and radius will be your width. Okay, so we go to our calculations here. That's volume equals pi, that's 3.14, multiplied by 4, which is our width, our radius, squared, multiplied by 7, which is our length or height. Okay, now that's 3.14 multiplied by 16, that's from 4 times 4, okay, 4 squared, that's 16, multiplied by 7, and the correct answer would be letter C, 351.68 cubic centimeters. Ma'am Joy Daidiet, maraming salamat po for your pakape. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Joy. Okay, so number 4, that would be letter C. Letter C po, 351.68 cubic centimeters. Okay, now we go to question number 5. We go na po sa question number 5 natin. This is still math. If x and y are both odd numbers, which of the following numbers must be an even number? 15, 13, 17, 18. Good evening, Sir Mark John Gotem. Tumpak ang hula ni Sir Jeffrey. Sir Loreto, ganun din. Ang daming bagsak pag-math. Ma'am Roslyn Torres Hebulan from Facebook po. The question is, saan galing yung 3.14? That is the fixed value po for pi. So pi is equal to 3.14. Again, Ma'am Samantha, maraming salamat po for sharing the video. Okay, now going back here, it says if x and y are both odd numbers, which of the following numbers must be an even number? Okay, now you don't actually need the first part of the sentence to get the correct answer. Kaway-kaway sa mga nag-solve dyan. Sino dito yung nag-solve? Ano yung sinolve nyo? Okay, there really is no need for you to compute this. 3 question lang siya. Wala pong kinalaman itong first part ng inyong sentence sa inyong question. Okay, so sabi lang niya, if x and y are both odd numbers, panggulo lamang po ito. Okay, so hindi nyo talaga yan kailangan for you to get the correct answer. Which of the following numbers must be an even number? Okay, so ito lamang yung tanong dito. Saan dito yung even number? Now, we know that your even numbers are those that cannot have any remainder, do not have any remainder when you divide it by 2. Kung odd naman, meron siyang remainder of 1. Okay, so the correct answer here, of course, pretty obvious. It's number 18. Okay, number 18, that's letter D. Okay, so number 5, that would be letter D. Now we go to number 16. Who among the following is known as the Indian Shakespeare? Saadi, Kalidasa, Khayyam, or Tagore? Maraming mahina yung net tonight, no? Again, we would like to welcome all the people who are tuning in to us through Facebook. If this is your first time to watch one of our videos, so make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go back to all the previous videos that we have there. We have a separate playlist for GenEd, separate playlist for ProfEd, and of course, we also have a playlist for all the previous live streams that we've had, GenEd and ProfEd discussion. Okay, if you're watching on Facebook, make sure that you follow our Facebook page, that's Gurong Pinoy, with the official logo, as you can see on the screen. Also, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this video, share this video, start a watch party using this video. We are StudyLink Gurong Pinoy. We used to own StudyLink Review and Tutorial Center in Iloilo. I'm Ma'am Mexay Son Manaay. I was formerly a science teacher, junior high school, then senior high school of Ateneo de Iloilo. I've also taught in Saudi Arabia in an international school, and currently I'm teaching here in Manning High School, Manning, South Carolina. And so our review center is now physically closed since my family is also here with me. But of course, we're still doing our review, and this is just online. Not only because of the pandemic, but also because of our physical absence from the Philippines. Okay, so again, maraming salamat for watching us. I see a lot of new people on Facebook. Welcome po. Okay, now many of you are answering the letter B. Dito sa YouTube, let me see. Ma'am Ella, welcome po. The late si Ma'am Ella. So karamihan din dito, letter B. Okay, we go back. Who among the following is known as the Indian Shakespeare? It is letter B, Kalidasa. Now, some of you might question or might ask, why is he known as the Indian Shakespeare? Sabi po kasi, the place that Shakespeare enjoys in English literature, like the prestige, the honor that was given to Shakespeare in English literature is also enjoyed by Kalidasa in Sanskrit literature. Okay, so kapita-pitagan si Kalidasa in Sanskrit literature, no, Indian siya. Now, what about the rest of the people here? Saadi is a Persian poet. We know that when we say Persia was the old name for Iran, okay, or Iran, as some people here might pronounce it. So Persian poet po siya. Persia is the old name of Iran. Khayyam naman, of course, was the one who wrote the Rubaiyat. Okay, common question in the let. What is the theme of Omar Khayyam's Rubaiyat? Okay, so Omar Khayyam was the one who wrote Rubaiyat. If you see that question in the let, what is the theme of Omar Khayyam's Rubaiyat? Your answer would be eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we all die. Okay, so that's by Omar Khayyam, and that's Rubaiyat. Tagore naman, of course, is very well known for his Gitanjali. That is his collection of poems. Okay, so that's Rabindranath Tagore, also a very famous poet of India. Okay, but the correct answer here is letter B, Kalidasa. We go to number 7. The official stand of a newspaper on a particular issue is found in the front page, inside page, editorial page, features section. Ano kaya yung tamang sagot for question number 7? Still GenEd. We have until number 20 for GenEd. Then after that, we'll take a short break, and we are coming back for ProfEd. Watching from Cavite. Good evening po and welcome, Sir John Francis Jerez. First timer yata si Sir John. Okay, a lot of people on Facebook are answering on YouTube, are answering with the letter C. Here on Facebook, what's your answer, people? Again, if you are watching on Facebook, also please answer with us. That way your learning becomes more meaningful, more interactive. Don't just listen to me as I discuss. Okay, mag-answer din po kayo para mas maalala niyo po ang ating items. Okay, so again, number 7, the official stand of a newspaper on a particular issue is found on the. The correct answer, or in the, it is letter C. Okay, many of you are correct. Letter C, that's editorial. Okay, so ngayon, no, yung pinaka-topiko nila is the vaccine coming from Russia. Okay, so if a newspaper has its own opinion, Nandyan po yan, nakikita nyo sa inyong editorial or tinatawag din itong Pangulong Tudling. Pangulong Tudling in Filipino. That's the editorial page. So that's number 7. Now we go to number 8. Which of the following plays was not written by Sophocles? Ajax or Ajax, Antigone, Oedipus at Colonus, or Agamemnon? Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for question number 8? This is still GenEd. Ma'am Maris De Castro. First time po ba ni Ma'am Maris? Okay, very good, Ma'am Samantha. She's answering with all of you. Ma'am Rodessa Tibdalgo, maraming salamat po for tagging your friends. Okay, and please make sure that you inform them that in this month of August, we have our online every Saturday and Sunday, 7 p.m. That's Philippine time. Okay, meron na din po kaming pasok dito, but we start with just virtual learning. Okay, so again, number 8, which of the following plays was not written by Sophocles? Okay, is it Ajax, or you can also pronounce that as Ajax, Antigone, Oedipus at Colonus, or Agamemnon? And the correct answer is, I think many people will be maliligwak. Letter D po ang tamang sagot, Agamemnon. And this was written by Aeschylus. Okay, so Aeschylus po would be Agamemnon. Agamemnon was written by Aeschylus and not Sophocles. Okay, so again, the correct answer would be letter D. Medyo marami-rami ang naligwak. Okay, genocide na naman ang nangyari. All right, so again, for number 8, that would be letter D. We go to number 9. Which of the following Romans was never an emperor? Letter A, Caligula. Letter B, Catullus. Letter C, Claudius. Or letter D, Julius Caesar? Oh, ang galing sa Pinas, no? Hanggang October 5 pa yung bakasyon. October 5 yung first day. Okay, so August, September, October, ang haba ng pahinga, ang haba ng bakasyon ng mga tao. Kasi dyan naman kasi sa Pinas, although dito sa US maraming cases, sa Pinas kasi nagkukumpu-kumpulan lagi yung mga tao. Okay, populated kasi tayo, and of course, we love generally kasi or naturally, Filipinos love being with people. Okay, so gusto lagi ng Pinoy may kachika, may kasama. So hindi maiiwasan talaga, no, napakahirap. Siguro kung kami sa Pilipinas, nandyan ako sa Pilipinas, mas mahirap mag-maintain ng social distancing. Just because of our culture nga, na palagi tayong social na tao. Dito kasi hindi kahit yung neighbor ko hindi ko kakilala, kahit yung next door ko hindi ko siya kakilala. And hindi naman ganun ka populated dito, hindi ganun kapuno yung mga mall. Okay, sa Pinas talaga very populated, very crowded. Okay, so sa public daw, sabi ni Sir Jeffrey, sa public, they will start at on October 5, then private naman would be August 24 pa rin. Okay, so August pa rin yung private schools. Takot kasi yung private schools na mawalan din ng mga bata. So dapat mag-start na din sila. Okay, tama yan sabi ni Sir Pinoypreneur. Mahirap social distance dito kasi makita mo ng kakilala mo, finish na, kwentuhan na kaagad. Tama, may beso-beso pa yan. Okay, so mahirap nang iwasan yung social distancing. Okay, now we go to number 9. Again, which of the following Romans was never an emperor? The correct answer here would be letter B. Catullus po would be your correct answer. Good evening po. Hina ng signal ni Ma'am Yes Samporna. Okay, so letter B po would be the correct answer. That's Catullus. The rest of these people here are still considered as emperors. Okay, naging emperor po sila. Catullus is just a poet who used to entertain Julius Caesar. Okay, so poet po siya who used to entertain Julius Caesar. That's Catullus. Okay, so never po siya naging emperor. So again, for number 9, that will be letter B. Letter B po ang tamang sagot. Now we go to number 10. The poetry of Ezra Pound is best described as romantic, letter B, imagist, letter C, philosophical, letter D, metaphysical. May mga issue pa pala sa Pinas. Sabi ni Sir Pinoy, Sir Pinoy-preneur. Mahirap pag di ka mamansin. Sasabihin, nag-quarantine ka lang, nag-quarantine lang, di na ako kakilala. May mga hugot pa, no? Ganyan yung Pinoy. Gusto talaga chika-chika, kumpul-kumpulan. Okay, may wifi nga yung kapitbahay nyo, no? Maraming chismosa. Gagamitin nga daw sa contact tracing yung mga chismosa. Okay, now what do you think is the correct answer for question number 10? Hi, Shane Padernal, watching us right now. She used to be my student in Ateneo. Hi! Kumusta, Shane? Okay, now, ang iba sa inyo dito nang hula na. I can see some people answering with the letter A. Dito on YouTube, we have A, B, meron din naman C. Okay, boring din ang lugar pag walang chismosa, sabi ni Ma'am Faith PM. Okay, ganyan nga dito, napaka-boring, napaka-tahimik, no? Napakalungkot dahil walang chismosa. Genocide na naman ito. Okay, now number 10, the poetry of Ezra Pound is best described as. The correct answer is, magkaka-genocide na naman kaya, mass murder. Letter B, imagist. Okay, so letter B po ang tamang sagot, madugo na naman, marami na namang naligwak. Okay, so Ezra Pound is known to be the originator of the modernist form of poetry, and he promoted imagism. Okay, so imagism po ang tamang sagot for question number 10. Okay, marami na namang naligwak. Okay, we go to question number 11. The government prohibiting the press from interviewing constitutes what is called blank. Is it letter A, gag order, letter B, media law, letter C, censorship, or letter D, prior restraint? Okay, nakatama. Guess na correct pa. Nakatama si Ma'am Eva. Ma'am Nora, ganun din. Hi, Shane! Stay safe dyan sa Iloilo. Regards to everyone. Tumama din sa wakas, sabi ni Ma'am Annalie. Okay, so again, number 11, many of you are answering with letter B. On YouTube, maraming letter B. Dito naman sa Facebook, may D. All right, so again, going back to the question here, number 11, the government prohibiting the press from interviewing constitutes what is called letter A, gag order, letter B, media law, letter C, censorship, letter D, prior restraint. The correct answer here would be letter A po, that's a gag order. Okay, so if you hear someone saying that there's already a gag order on the case, bawal na po sila magsalita, bawal nang magpa-interview. Okay, so bawal na po. That's letter A, gag order. Okay, so this is actually what happened to Dr. Li Wenliang. Baka po lumabas sa let nyo. Dr. Li Wenliang, of course, is known to be the He's known to be the whistleblower for COVID-19. Okay, so siya po yung unang-unang nagpakalat na may COVID-19 na maraming patients with suspected form of coronavirus nandun sa Wuhan public market, no? So Wuhan market. So that's Dr. Li Wenliang. And of course, when you say gag order, bawal na po magsalita kahit sino, bawal na mag-interview according to a mandate by the court. Okay, so that's a gag order po. Okay, now we go to number 12. The press is referred to as the fourth state because it, letter A, is a powerful political force. Letter B is an adversary of government. Letter C is part of the branches of the government. Letter D checks all branches of government. Okay, medyo maraming ligwak-ligwak na yun, no? Ligwak-ligwak, ganun. Okay, so sabi ni Ma'am Ella, sa hindi pa po niya na-add sa ating GC for Acquaintance Party, that's going to be on September 12, mag-message lang po kayo sa kanya. Nandun po yung name niya sa post natin na nasa Facebook page. Hintayin niyo lamang po at i-add niya po kayo. Medyo na busy lang daw po siya sa work. Sir Alvin, PM mo na lang daw po siya on Facebook. All right, now many of you are answering with B, my A. Okay, dito naman on Facebook, Sir Sonny, D, my C, etc. Okay, again, going back, the press is referred to as the fourth state because it is a powerful political force, an adversary of government, kalaban ng gobyerno. Letter C, part of the branches of the government. Letter D, checks all branches of the government. Now, we know that our government has three branches, okay, legislative, the executive, and the judiciary. Executive, of course, this is the most powerful form, no? Siya nag-execute ng law, nagpapatupad ng law. Then you have the judiciary. This is our court, Supreme Court, and all the courts that we have in the country. Legislative, of course, that would be your lawmaking bodies. Okay, so that would include the Senate and, of course, the Congress. Okay, so we say that the press is the fourth state or the fourth power because it checks all branches of the government. So sinasabi nga that the fourth state, the press, is like a watchdog. Para siyang watchdog. Siya yung nag-check whether the executive government is not getting corrupt, your legislative is doing its job, the judiciary is not doing any forms of corruption or any other bad procedures in the government. Okay, so letter D po ang tamang sagot. Letter D. Okay, so it checks all branches of government. All right, so again, number 13, we go to number 13. The Constitution provides that no educational institution shall be established exclusively for aliens except for employers of overseas Filipino workers in the Middle East. Letter B, foreign diplomatic personnel and their dependents. Letter C, citizens of ASEAN member countries. Letter D, permanent alien residents. Again, for those of you who'd like to be added to our group chat for our acquaintance party, please look for the post on Facebook. Nasa Facebook page po natin, nandun yung post at nandun po nakatag si Ma'am Ella. Paramihan ng mali today. Legwak. Okay, now here, in this question, many of you are answering letter B, may letter C. Ligwak na naman. Okay, dito sa Facebook. Okay, Sir Santi Santos, sabi po ni Ma'am Ella, medyo na busy lang siya. So, hintayin lang po natin na ma-check niya yung inbox niya. Ma'am Erich Apostol, good evening po. Okay, many of you are answering with the letter B. Okay, so again, for number 13 here, the Constitution provides that no educational institution shall be established exclusively for aliens except for, that's letter B. Okay, letter B po ang tamang sagot dito, except for foreign diplomatic personnel and their dependents. This is according to PD number 176. Okay, so letter B po ang tamang sagot, foreign diplomatic personnel and their dependents lamang po ang po pwedeng may exclusive school sa ating exclusive school for for non-Filipinos in our country. Okay, so that's letter B. Letter B po ang tamang sagot for number 13. Now we go to number 14. The primary source of the objectives of education in the Philippines at present is the Tidings-McDuffie Act, Swanson Report, Monroe Commission, or Philippine Constitution. Okay, later daw mag-a-add si Ma'am Ella. Okay lang po, Ma'am Ella. And maraming salamat po for being our secretary. For those of you who were not added yet, mag-PM po kayo kay Ma'am Ella or po pwede din po kayo mag-comment doon. If I can add you, then I will add you. Ang iba kasi hindi namin ma-add kahit na mag-comment kayo. That's why we're asking you to send her a private message because she was the one who made the group. Okay? But if you can also try commenting. Baka po pwede din namin kayo ma-add. Yung iba kasi naka-private yata yung settings nyo, no? Hindi kayo na-add unless mag-send kayo ng private message. Okay, now... All right, now people on Facebook and are on YouTube are also commenting. Both platforms have the letter D as the answer, and that is the correct choice. Okay, that's the correct choice. Your hint here is at present. Presently, of course, many of the provisions in our education is provided by the Philippine Constitution. Nabalikan natin yung ibang choices natin dito. Tidings-McDuffie Act po. This is also called the Philippine Independence Act, established the process for the Philippines, then an American colony, to become an independent country after a 10-year transition period. So this was during the Commonwealth period. Okay, so yung Tidings-McDuffie Act, yung nagsabi na after your 10-year transition period during the Commonwealth period nga, after the 10 years, you can now become independent. So that's the Tidings-McDuffie Act. Swanson Report naman, this was in 1960s. This called for prioritization of investments for primary education and strengthening secondary education. And it also recommended the restoration of grade 7. Okay, so tinawag siyang Swanson Report because the chair's family name was Swanson. And of course, the last one that we have here is the Monroe Commission on Philippine Education, created in 1925, with the aim of reporting on the effectiveness of the education in the Philippines during that time. Okay, but of course, sabi nga natin, your hint is at present. So presently, yung pamantayan po ng ating education, of course, will be the Philippine Constitution. So number 14, that's letter D. We go to question 15. The effect of GATT was felt most in the sugar-producing provinces because the price of local sugar went down. Letter B, more imported sugar was made. Letter C, sugar lands were reverted to fruit farms. Letter D, sugar workers enjoyed more benefits. Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot? Again, we would like to welcome all of you who are first-timers on our live stream, especially those people who are watching us on Facebook. Okay, these people on YouTube have been here with me since the beginning of my live stream. So ito po yung pinaka-core section natin, no? Nandito na sila since we have started the live stream. Kasi dati yung live stream natin would only be on YouTube. Okay, so right now we're also doing our live stream simultaneously nasa Facebook. So if you are watching on Facebook, please do also subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find our YouTube channel, Still Gurong Pinoy. We have our playlist there for GenEd. May playlist na din tayo for ProfEd. And of course, we have our playlist for all the previous live streams that we've had discussing GenEd and ProfEd items. So maraming na po tayong na-discuss na items. We have more than almost 20 na yata na live streams na nasa playlist natin. So make sure that you also go to YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check all of our videos. Even not on live streams, we have videos on ProfEd and also GenEd that can help you pass the let. Okay, so we are studying Gurong Pinoy, And we're doing our review online at the moment, 100% online, not only because of the pandemic, but also because we are currently residing here in the US. Okay, my name is Ma'am Nexaison Manaay, and I'm currently teaching here in Manning High School, Manning, South Carolina, USA. Okay, so again, welcome po sa lahat ng mga nandyan sa Facebook. Paki-share po ng ating video, paki-share din sa inyong mga friends so that we can also help them pass the LET. Sir Paul J. Diamante, our former LET student, of course now a licensed professional teacher. Good evening, sir. Halongda sa Iloilo. All right, now many of you are answering letter B. Dito sa YouTube, ganun din. Okay. Now, ano kaya yung tamang sagot? The effect of GATT was felt most in the sugar-producing provinces because GATT po is also called the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. It is a legal agreement between many countries whose overall purpose was to promote international trade by reducing or eliminating trade barriers such as tariffs or quotas. Now, when you say tariffs po, tarifa, this is the tax. Okay, so dati pag mag-export ka, no, pag in-import mo yung isang produkto, malaki yung babayaran nilang tax. Okay, that's their tarifa. And meron silang quota. That means hindi maraming pupwedeng iangkat, no? Hindi ganun kadami yung supply na pupwede nilang iangkat. Now, because of the GATT, General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, nawala ito or na-lessen itong kanilang tax na binabayaran and of course also the quota. So mas malaya na yung trade, okay? That's free trade na. International trade became more at ease. And so paano nga ba ito naka-apekto sa ating sugar-producing provinces? Okay, the correct answer here is, genocide na naman kaya? Correct answer is letter A. The price of local sugar went down dahil marami ng iba-ibang sugar products na pumasok sa bansa, di ba? Meron na tayong yung mga replacement natin for sugar. Okay, yung mga sweeteners natin. So correct answer here is letter A. The price of local sugar went down. Naging kakompetensya nila yung mga imported na sweeteners, imported na sugar din. Okay, so that's the correct answer. Letter A po. Letter A ang tamang sagot for number 15. Now we go to number 16. A Filipino wants to be accepted by his fellow men for what he is and to be treated according to his status. He can achieve this by, letter A, participating in group activities that interest him. Letter B, being obedient to all demands that come his way. Letter C, offering his service in whatever form that suits him. Letter D, socializing with his fellow men within the norms of society. Okay, again, we're already at number 16. Sir Ramana ay downstairs. Please check your task on the phone. Thank you. Oh, grabe na to. Minorder ba kayo ng GenEd ngayon? Di na ako natutuwa. Okay lang yan. At least dito mali kayo. When it comes to the LET, tama na kayo. Okay, many people on Facebook are answering with the letter. On YouTube, I mean, most of you are answering with the letter D. Here naman on Facebook, ganun din, letter D din. Let's check. The correct answer is letter D. So, tama kayo. Okay, letter D po ang tamang sagot. Alright, now we go to number 17. Sa maraming uri ng tuluyang pagsusulit, alin ang nakita ng mga paaralan na mabisang gamitin upang maipakita ang kakayanan at ideya ng mga estudyante? Tama o mali, pagpipilian, punan ang patlang, or pasanaysay? Ano kaya ang tamang sagot? Okay, Sir Ram, noted. right, we're already at number 17, people. Yes, okay, Sir Ram, got it. All right, so many of you are answering the letter D. Ang dami ng bilog sa notes nyo. Minsan, kailangan mong magkamali para tumama. Sabi ni Sir Pinoy Preneur. Tama yan. Mali na nga nakilala ko siya, tapos dito puro mali pa ako. Muhugot ka, Ma'am Ella. Okay, so karamihan D, may B. Dito sa Facebook, karamihan din ay D. Sa maraming uri ng tuluyang pagsusulit, no? Continuous assessment, formative assessment, alin ang nakita ng mga paaralan na mabisang gamitin upang maipakita ang kakayanan at ideya ng mga estudyante. So ito po ang inyong hint dito. Kakayanan, the abilities, and ideas of the student. Is it letter A? Tama, mali. True, false lang to. Letter B, pagpipilian. This is multiple choice. Letter C is punan ang patlang. This is fill in the blank. And letter D, pasanaysay, which is essay. And of course, the correct answer would be letter D po, pasanaysay, essay. Dahil gusto nyo maipakita ang kakayanan at ideya ng mga estudyante. Wala namang makikitang ideya yung estudyante, no? From tama o mali, pagpipilian, or punan ang patlang. So the correct answer would be essay. Okay, so essay po. That's letter D, pasanaysay. Alright, now we go to number 18. Alin sa mga sumusunod ang halimbawa ng awit? Okay, alin dito ang halimbawa ng awit? Is it letter A, ang ibong Adarna? Letter B, Noli Me Tangere? Letter C, Florante at Laura? Or letter D, El Filibusterismo? Okay, ano kaya ang tamang sagot for this question that we have? All right, now many of you on YouTube are answering with the letter A. Meron ding ilang C. Okay, dito naman sa Facebook, merong A, meron din C, ganun din. All right, now we know that Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo were written by Rizal, no? Si Rizal, and both of these are novels. So hindi po sila po pwedeng maging awit dahil ang awit po ay nakataluturan siya, nakastanza siya, no? So tula siya, part siya ng poetry. Is it letter A, ang ibong Adarna? Letter C, Florante at Laura? Now we go to this explanation here, pamantayan, pagkakaiba ng awit at kurido. Batay po sa anyo, ang awit ay binubuo ng 12 pantig sa loob ng isang taludturan, 4 na taludtod sa isang taludturan. Okay, so 12 syllables in one line at 4 lines in one stanza. Okay, so that's your awit. Kurido naman, binubuo ng 8 pantig sa loob ng isang taludtod at 4 na taludtod sa isang taludturan. Okay, so 4 lines din siya in a stanza, but instead of having 12 syllables, it only has 8 syllables. Okay, now saan dito yung halimbawa ng ating awit? The correct answer, of course, there would be letter C po. Letter C, hindi po letter A. Letter A po ang ibong Adarna, isang halimbawa ng korido. Now, if you are on Grow, I will be placing this slideshow po later. Okay, the entire slideshow later there. Okay, so there's no need for you to copy any of those. Ibong Adarna po is also a poem, but it is kurido po siya. Hindi po siya awit, but we call it as kurido. When we say awit po here, hindi po siya awit na kantahan. Awit po is a type of tula. Okay, klase po siya ng tula together with your kurido. Okay, so the correct answer would be letter C, Florante at Laura. Now, we go to number 19. Upang makasiguro na magkakaroon ng mabuting item sa pagsusulit, naghahanda ang isang guro ng higit. Higit yan dapat. Higit sa kailangang bilang at ito ay tinatawag na talahanayan, bahagdan, item pool, or layuning pangkagawain? Yes, Sir John Francis. Bakit po? Okay. So dati 15-15 lamang po. Yes, that was in July po. Because July we had our schedules Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. Pero August po kasi, babalik na po kami sa school. Okay, although we're starting virtual, online po, but the teachers need to go back to school and we need to be there in school while we're doing online classes. And so I can only do our live streams during the weekend. So instead of having just 15, ginawa po natin 2020. Aha. So marami na naman sa inyo yung sagot nyo ay letter D dito sa YouTube. Okay, dito naman sa Facebook may A, may C. Yung mga tao talaga sa YouTube alam mong matagal nang magkakakilala no dahil palagi na magkakasamang tumatama, magkakasama din namang namamali. Okay, nagkaka-mass murder lagi sa YouTube. Genocide lagi. Okay, going back to the question that we have here, upang makasiguro na magkakaroon ng mabuting item sa pagsusulit, naghahanda ang isang guro ng higit sa kailangang bilang, meaning mas marami ang kanyang ihahanda. Kahit na magkakaroon lamang tayo ng 20 items, for example, in our GenEd, maghahanda ako ng 100 items. At ito ay tinatawag na, anong tawag mo sa lahat ng items na yon na po pwede mong gamitin? Okay, the correct answer here is item pool, of course. Ito yung pool ng items mo. Okay, so letter C po, item pool. This is the group of items that you can use in giving your students their tests or their quiz. Okay, that's not your talahanayan. That's a column, no? Column po yung talahanayan nyo. Bahagda naman is a level. Layuning pagkagawain, this is your objective. Okay, objective po yan. So letter C, ligwalkers na naman. Mass murder na naman. Okay, so letter C po ang tamang sagot for question number 19. Now we go to the last item for GenEd. Ivana was speaking to DJ Lonyo on the phone when the line was disconnected, reconnected, broken down, hung up. Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot dito? Okay, na mass murder din kayo. Dito sa Facebook, mass murder din ba? Okay, letter A. Sana all si Ivana A. Maraming A sa YouTube. Mass murder na naman kaya. Sama-sama lagi itong YouTube, no? Walang iwanan, oh. Puro A, oh. Okay, dito sa Facebook, karamihan din ay letter A. Okay? Now, Ivana was speaking to DJ Lonyo. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Tama po ba yun? On the phone, when the line was, of course, that's disconnected. Okay, na-disconnect po ang kanilang linya. Okay, so letter A, that's disconnected, not broken down, not hung up. All right, so that ends our GenEd discussion. I hope that you have 60% of 20, which is 12. Naka 12 out of 20 pa tayo. Okay, so that ends our GenEd. Thank you so much, Ma'am Ipomea Mercy, for sharing our video. Okay, dami bang mali? Hello po, Ma'am Josephine Bailon. Okay, so we take a short break. We'll come back at 8:05. I'll see you at 8:05 with our ProfEd. Okay, please don't go while you're waiting for me. Then you can please like the video. Okay, like the video on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page. If you're watching us on YouTube and you haven't liked or followed our Facebook page yet, please go to Facebook. If you're watching us on Facebook and you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, then please do so. Okay, we'll come back at 8:05 with ProfEd. All right, so again, teka lamang po. All right, so again, if you are still not part of Grow, it's very easy po for you to become a part of Grow. The payment po is just 500 pesos. Nandiyan po sa inyong screen kung paano po kayo maging parte ng Grow. That's 500 pesos only. And you will then be added to our exclusive FB group. Na nandyan po, no? Nandyan kanina sa inyong screen. That's Gurong Pinoy Review Online Work Group. Your payment is only 500 pesos. The details are there. Once you make the payment po, make sure that you take a picture of your receipt, then post it or send it as a private message on our Facebook page so that I can add you on Grow. Now, I've seen some comments kanina, no, going back to our question there kanina about the pie. Okay, yung pi po, sinasabing pi, the correct term should have been, that's the approximate value. Sinasabi ko pong fix siya, fix po na yun yung number na ginagamit natin whenever we solve. Okay, so fix po 3.14. But I'm not saying that it's, I'm not claiming that it's a fixed value. It is an approximate value, but what I'm trying to say is fix po siya na whenever we see pi in our formula, then we use 3.14 or 3.1416. Okay, now, again, this is Grow. That's 500 pesos only. Yung 500 pesos po is a one-time payment. That's until the time that you take the LET. Okay, so you don't need to pay more. So the advantage po of being on Grow, of course, is you receive your exclusive materials coming from us, not only those questions that we are discussing here on our live stream, but also some other review materials that we know can help you pass the LET. Okay, the previous questions that our students have given to us as part of their feedback. Okay, so you can all see it in Grow. And of course, kung meron tayong mga notes, you don't really need to take down of a lot of notes because most of them were already posted in Grow. Okay, now we go back to our discussion. So again, we start with ProfEd. We still have 20 items for ProfEd. Okay, so a child aged 1 realizes that things continue to exist even when it is no longer present to the senses. According to Piaget, the child has achieved letter A, concrete permanence. Letter B, object permanence. Letter C, object movement. Letter D, concrete movement. Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for number 1? Again, we would like to welcome all those people who have just started joining us. We have been doing our live streams for more than a month now. We started our YouTube channel. We started with the live streams just on YouTube channel. We started our YouTube channel just during the time of the pandemic. Now that's in October, okay? Because the schools here in the US were closed because of the pandemic. And so I had much time in my hands. And so I was able to start our YouTube channel, but StudyLink Guru Pinoy has been conducting reviews for a long time, more than 10 years, not only for the LET, but also for civil service. And so I'd like to welcome all those people who have just tuned in to us. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, check the rest of the videos that we have there, the playlist that we have there. Okay, all those things can help you pass the LET. Also, please share this video so that we can help more people just like you pass the LET. Okay, now many of you are answering with the letter B, object permanence, and that is the correct choice. Okay, so according to Piaget, sabi ni Piaget, in his cognitive development theory, there are 4 stages of cognitive development, no? So smart people cook fish. Smart people cook fish, that's sensory motor. Then you have pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational. Now, smart people cook fish. Now, sinasabing concrete, object permanence mo, tama itong dinescribe dito, the child continues to or realizes that things continue to exist even when it is no longer present to the senses. So once the child has already established object permanence, this is a hallmark of your pre-operation, your sensory motor, no? Sabi ni Piaget, ito yung boundary between your sensory motor and your pre-operational. So once meron ng object permanence yung bata, pwede na siyang proceed into pre-operational. Okay, so that's according to PSA. So sabi nga ng object permanence mo, kung dati yung bata hindi siya umiiyak pag ikaw nanay, umalis sa harap niya, no, dahil wala pa siyang object permanence, pag meron ng object permanence yung bata, gusto na niyang sumama sa iyo, no, when you go to your work, umiiyak na siya, okay, because the child knows that the mom exists even if the mom is not in front of him. Okay, so that's the letter B, object permanence. All right, now we go to number 2. A teacher can help her underachiever students correct their difficulties by supervised study, diagnosis, review, or see-through. Okay, so again, if you still don't know those theories, yung theory na kaka-explain naman po natin, cognitive development theory by Piaget, the rest of the theories that we have on ProfEd, we have so many videos that can help you on YouTube. There's a playlist for ProfEd. There's also a playlist for GenEd, but also very important, you check our playlist for the previous live streams that we've had. Okay, so when we say live stream po, that's an explanation, a discussion of our GenEd and ProfEd items. Okay, now many people on YouTube are starting to answer. Their answer is letter A. Sir CK, welcome back. Sir Kwangkok. First timer ba si Sir Kwangkok? Welcome po. All right, now here on Facebook, maraming letter B. Thank you, Ma'am Josephine, for sharing our video. Maraming letter B. Now, we have discussed this before. Na-discuss ko na to dati, no, yung underachiever. Okay, sabi natin dati, no, yung in one of our discussions, when you say underachiever, this is not a slow student. Pag sinabi mo lang siyang underachiever, hindi niya nahi-hit yung kailangan niyang i-hit, no? So that means pwedeng mas mataas pa yung kaya niya, yung kakayanan niya, no? Pwedeng mas mataas yung ability niya, but for some reason ay hindi niya ito nahi-hit. That's what you call underachiever. Underachiever po is not equal to someone who's dumb, someone who's stupid, someone who's slow. Hindi po yung pag sinabi mo pong underachiever, hindi lang niya nahi-hit yung kanyang full potential. Okay? So if you are a teacher of a student who's an underachiever, you know that the student can do so much more, but you see that the child cannot hit his full potential. Ano yung magiging action mo? Is it supervised study, diagnosis, review, see-through? The correct answer would be letter A po. Letter A, that's supervised study. Titingnan mo kung ano nga ba yung mali niya. Saan siya nagkakamali? Bakit na hindi niya napapataas yung score niya kahit kaya naman niya? Okay? There must have been something wrong with the way he studies, maybe his study technique, study style, no? Study habits niya. So that's letter A po. Study or supervised study. Supervised study is the correct answer for number 2. Now we go to question number 3. Which of the following educational thrust applies to higher education as provided for in the Education Act of 1982? Equity, efficiency, high quality, all of the above. Oh, yan na naman sa YouTube. May naghahanap na naman ng single. Okay, sama-sama na naman yung mga nasa YouTube. Letter D, mass murder na naman kaya. Okay, letter D. I can already see some answers on Facebook. My D, my B. Okay, Sir Sunny, D then, Sir Rodel. Okay, so again for number 3, which of the following educational thrust applies to higher education as provided for in the Education Act of 1982? And the correct answer, of course, is letter D, all of this. Okay, so according to Education Act of 1982, that's BP 232, no? Batas Pambansa 232, The main thrust of higher education is to achieve equity, efficiency, and high quality in the institutions of higher learning, both public and private, so that together they will provide a complete set of program offerings that meet both national and regional development needs. Okay, so that's the correct answer, all of the above, for number 3. Now we go to number 4. A teacher can help her slow learning students correct their difficulties by letter A, giving drills, letter B, providing review, letter C, preparing a developmental lesson, letter C, conducting remediation. Anong pangitain yan? Ang mga nasa YouTube, Maharot Team, anong pangitain sinasabi nyo? Sir Jeffrey, balik na po. Okay. Magdi-dinner pala. Take your time po. Okay, now... pangitain na sa una lang madali. Okay, may D, may A, may C, iba-ibang sagot. Dito naman sa ating Facebook, karamihan ay letter D. All right, going back to the question here, a teacher can help her slow learning students correct their difficulties by giving drills, providing review, preparing a developmental lesson, conducting remediation. Now, your tip here is the terms slow learning. Okay, slow learning students, meaning is slow learners po sila, slow learners. Now, what do you give your slow learners? Paulit-ulit na natin itong sinasabi. If your student is a slow learner, then what you give would be remediation. Remediation po yung tamang sagot. That's letter D. Okay, so tandaan po nyo, if it's a slow learner, what you give him is remediation. If it's a fast learner, then you give him enrichment. Okay, enrichment po pag fast learner. And pag slow learner naman, that's remediation. So the correct answer for number 4 is letter D. Letter D po, that's remediation. Now we go to number 5. A series of related and progressive acts performed by a teacher and their pupils to attain the general and specific objectives of the lesson is the method of teaching, teaching strategy, techniques of teaching, tactile. Again, I'd like to welcome all those people who have just tuned in to us, especially those who are on Facebook. Okay, mga nasa Facebook natin are, a lot of you are first-timers. Make sure po that you tune in to Gurong Pinoy. It might be on Facebook and can also be on YouTube. We have our live streams in this month on Saturdays and Sundays, 7 p.m. Philippine time. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, then make sure that you also subscribe to our YouTube channel. But we have a lot of videos there, ProfEd playlist, GenEd playlist, live stream playlist that can help you pass the LET. Also, please do follow our Facebook page so that you can be notified of any of the announcements, any of the videos that we have on Facebook. Okay, so again, we are Gurong Pinoy Study Link Review and Tutorial Center. We used to have our physical review center in Iloilo. We've been doing this for more than 10 years already. And now we're doing this online, again, because not only of the pandemic, but also because we are living here in the US now, because I'm already teaching here in the US. So my name is Ma'am Exaison Nanaay. Used to be a teacher in Ateneo, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia also, and now in Manning High School, Manning, South Carolina. Okay, so welcome po. And I hope that you learn a lot as you continue listening to us. I'd encourage you to please share this video. Okay, start a watch party, like this video on YouTube. Okay, so that we can help more people just like you pass the LET. It's just minimal amount if you'd want to become a member of GROW. The details of that are found at the beginning of this video. If not naman, then pwede pa rin kayo mag-join sa ating live stream. Okay, the live stream is just for free. Okay, now, many people on YouTube are answering the letter B. On Facebook, ganun din, letter B. Okay, teaching strategy. What we have here, this actually is the definition of the method of teaching. Teaching method po itong dinidefine dito. Series of related and progressive acts performed by a teacher and her pupils to attain the general specific objectives, word per word. That is the definition of teaching method. Teaching method po yan. Now, if you are still confused as to what is the difference between teaching approaches, teaching methods, teaching strategies, and techniques, please go to our YouTube channel, okay? Make a reminder in your notebook, okay? There's a video under our ProfEd playlist na teaching approaches, methods, strategies, and techniques. What's the difference between all these four? Okay, so the correct answer po is letter A. Letter A po ang correct answer natin for number 5. Now we go to number 6. It teaches morality through devotion to the family, loyalty to elders, love of learning, brotherhood, civil service, universal love, and justice. Is it letter A, Confucianism, letter B, Taoism, letter C, Catholicism, letter D, Buddhism? Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot for question number 6? Again, welcome po to all the first-timers that we have, especially those on Facebook. We have another venue for our live stream. You can also watch us on YouTube. Pareho lang po dinidiscuss on Facebook and YouTube. And of course, please do come back tomorrow. We have our next live stream tomorrow at 7 p.m. still, Philippine time. Okay, now many people on YouTube are answering the letter A. And of course, on Facebook, that's the letter A, and that is the correct choice. Okay, so correct choice, letter A, Confucianism. We have live stream video where we discuss all this, no? The wisdom, going with nature, going with the flow. Catholicism, of course, is the belief in Jesus Christ and the Holy Trinity, no? And letter D, Buddhism. Buddhism, of course, that's by, they believe in Buddha. Okay, so I will not go into details in the discussion of this because we already have our live stream video on all the differences there. But of course, number 6, that's the correct answer. Confucianism, tandaan din po, civil service is the greatest contribution of the Chinese education. Okay, so that's civil service. That's Confucianism. Number 7. The corrective measure, which is in accord with the sound psychological practice, is letter A, sustained aggression. Letter B, expulsion from school. Letter C, withdrawal of privileges. Letter D, physical punishment. Okay, so sabi dito sa question mo, aling corrective measure dito ang in accord or in accordance with a sound psychological practice? Is it letter A, sustained aggression? Letter B, expulsion from school? Letter C, withdrawal of privileges? Or letter D, physical punishment? Okay, so again, you want to correct the behavior of the student. Okay, saan dito yung healthy na method of correcting it? Is it through sustained aggression? So, if frustrate mo yung student, continuously, gagalitin mo siya continuously. I-expel mo siya from school, i-withdraw mo yung privileges niya, or letter D, sasaktan mo yung bata. The correct answer, of course, is letter C po. Mass murder na naman. Letter C. Withdrawal of privileges. So kung anak natin dinidisiplina natin, yung withdrawal of privileges mo can be just the taking of their phone. Okay? So kukunin mo yung cellphone, sabihin mo hindi ka nag-aaral na maayos kasi nagpupuyat ka dyan sa cellphone mo, kung sino-sino chinachat mo, nag-TikTok ka, whatever. And so you take the cellphone of the child, that's withdrawal of privileges. Kukunin mo yung privilege ng bata, which is a sound psychological practice. Yung iba kasi dito ay malala. Okay, papaluin mo siya, physical punishment, i-expel sa school, or if frustrate mo yung bata continuously, no, sustained aggression. Okay, the correct answer is letter C. Letter C po. Now we go to number 8. In a well-known experiment, a psychologist frustrates young children by placing a wire fence between the children and a pile of toys. When finally allowed to play with the toys, the children smashed and destroyed them. Which reaction was demonstrated? Letter A, direct aggression. Letter B, dormant aggression. Letter C, displaced aggression. Or letter D, relational aggression. Okay. So sabi ni Sir Pinoypreneur, po pwedeng ibigay yung phone, charger lang yung kukunin. Pwede siyang manghiram ng charger. Okay, nasa number 8 na po tayo. A lot of people on YouTube are answering with the letter A. Okay, dito sa Facebook, meron din nag-answer ng letter A. Okay, karamihan din dito, letter A. Okay, now we go back. Mass murder na naman kaya mangyayari. In a well-known experiment, the psychologist frustrates young children by placing a wire fence between the children and a pile of toys. When finally allowed to play with the toys, the children smashed and destroyed them. Which reaction was demonstrated? Letter A, direct aggression. Letter B, dormant aggression. Letter C, displaced aggression. Letter D, relational aggression. The correct answer is letter C po, displaced aggression. Why? Because when you say direct aggression, pag sinabi mo pong direct aggression, kung sino yung nag-frustrate sa'yo, yun po yung sasaktan mo. That's direct aggression. Direct aggression po yan. Okay? Dormant aggression naman ay kinikimkim mo lamang yung galit mo. Hindi mo pinapakita yung galit mo. Never mong pinapakita yung galit mo. That's direct or dormant aggression. Now, when you say displaced aggression naman, this is our answer because when you say displaced aggression, that means you are sinasaktan mo or you are hurting, you are smashing, you are destroying something which was really not the person who frustrated you. Meaning, ibang tao or ibang bagay yung sinasaktan mo, hindi yung kung sino talaga yung nag-frustrate sa'yo, no? That's why your answer here is displaced aggression. Dahil nga, yung mga bata, yung dinestroy nila would be the toys, hindi yung psychologist. Okay? Hindi yung psychologist. Now, yung relational aggression naman, this is a type of, andyan pala yung explanation. No? Direct aggression, hitting the person that caused frustration or anger. Dormant aggression is kept anger, na-explain ko na rin to. And your relational aggression naman is harm. Harm is caused by damaging someone's relationships or social groups. Okay, so gusto mong sirain yung relasyon ng isang tao, no? That's relational aggression. Kunwari, meron kang ex, hindi ka pa nakaka-move on, meron na siyang bagong girlfriend. When you say relational aggression, sisirain mong relasyon nila, relationship nila, or social group ng isang tao. That's relational aggression. But of course here, the correct answer is letter C po. Letter C would be your correct choice. All right, now we go to number 9, the term, which refers to the techniques and tools of learning and may relate to materials available in the classroom, such as reference textbooks, industrial materials, equipment, and apparatus, is letter A, visual aids, letter B, technology, letter C, school environment, letter D, resource materials. Okay, what do you think is the correct answer here? All right. Now, many of you on YouTube are answering with the letter D. Dito may D, may A sa Facebook. Sabi ni Ma'am Samantha, nakakatakot pag nagsabi ng na si Ma'am na mass murder, meron talagang mass murder, no? Okay. Sabi ni Ma'am Ella Fajardo, yung mga nag-add daw sa kanya sa Facebook, di daw niya kayo ma-confirm, so pa-PM na lang po. I-PM niyo po siya, wag po munang i-add. I-PM niyo po siya kasi minsan po, ako, minsan pag nakikita ko nag-comment kayo doon, if I can add you, then I add you. Pero yung iba kasi sa inyo ay suplada at suplado, hindi po kayo na-add. So, kailangan pong i-PM niyo siya. We cannot add you unless you send her a private message. So, dapat unahan niyo siya. Hindi kayo pwedeng unahan, no? Hindi kayo pwedeng ma-add. Oh, Ma'am Tien, sabi ni Sir Pinoypreneur, pag may pogi daw, may gwapong mag-PM sa'yo, yun na daw siya. Ay, inalis mo message mo. Okay, so a lot of your answer will letter D, dito sa Facebook ganun din, and that is the correct choice. Okay, so resource materials po natin ito. Number 9, resource materials. That's correct. Okay, now we go to number 10. This is the role that the teacher plays when he sets desirable learning activities for the individual learner and takes the responsibility of matching available resources with the needs of each learner. Is it letter A, scholar and master of learning, letter B, abstractor and spear of learning, letter C, manager of the teaching learning process, letter D, initiator of the teaching learning process? Okay? Ano kaya ito? Sir Bolsteriaga, I see you on Facebook. Habol po. Sir Allen Martinez, welcome po. So again, if this is your first time to tune in to us, we have our next live stream tomorrow. Our schedule po for our live stream in this month of August is Saturday, Sunday, 7 p.m. That's Philippine time. So make sure that you are in front of your devices before 7 p.m. Okay, so para po hindi kayo malate, make sure that you have your data ready. Okay, para hindi po kayo mawala ng load. Okay, so again, number 10, this is the role that a teacher plays when he sets desirable learning activities for the individual learner and takes the responsibility of matching available resources with the needs of each learner. Okay, so minamatch mo yung mga resources mo with the needs of your learner. Of course, the correct answer here is letter C. Ligwak na naman karamihan. Okay, letter C po, minamanage mo yung teaching learning process. Alam mo kung sa ganitong klase ng learner, ito yung bibigay ko. Itong klase ng learner ay fast learner, so ito yung bagay sa kanya. Okay, so that's the manager of the teaching learning process. Initiator po, that means nag-uumpisa ka lang. Okay, you are starting the learning. Okay, so letter C is the correct answer po. All right, now we go to number 11. This is a term used to designate what modern education calls the new learning, which aims to develop a well-rounded personality, process approach, team teaching, problem-solving techniques, interrogative techniques. Mahilig ka daw siguro mag-delete ng convo, Sir Pinoy. Sabi ni Ma'am Christine. Okay, many people on YouTube are answering with the letter A. Dito sa Facebook, karamihan letter D. All right, meron din letter A. May B. Okay, iba-iba po yung inyong sagot. Alright, so again, sabi na number 11 nyo, This is a term used to designate what modern education calls the new learning, which aims to develop a well-rounded personality. Well-rounded personality po yung ating aim. When you say interrogative techniques, questioning methods lang to. Interrogative, no? Interrogative means questioning. Problem-solving techniques, of course, you are trying to teach the child how to solve a problem. Team teaching is when teachers collaborate with each other. Students can also work as pairs, okay, or even in groups. But the correct answer here is process approach, okay? We need to develop a well-rounded personality. And so our aim, our purpose is not only the product, but we want the child to learn from the process, and we want the child to appreciate the process. Okay? So sinasabi natin lagi sa bata, it is not important that you win. The most important thing is that you learn from it. So kahit kayo dito, hindi importante na tama yung sagot nyo. The most important thing is that you are learning so that when we get to your let, then you are ready. Okay? Para ready na kayo. So the correct answer is process approach po. Process approach. Not only the product, but also taking care of the process of learning. So 11 po, that's the process approach, letter A. Now we go to number 12. This is referred to as a condition of the classroom and of individual activity in which order is the objective sought to make learning effective. Letter A, light and ventilation. Letter B, problem-solving techniques. Letter C, routine activities. Or letter D, physical environment. Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot? Ma'am Izay, I see you switching from YouTube to Facebook. Mahina yung signal ni ma'am. Gahanap siya ng signal. Now, a lot of people on YouTube are answering the letter C. Sir Efren, okay po. I see your message. Now, dito naman sa ating Facebook, marami din letter C. This is referred to as a condition of the classroom. Ito yung hints natin. Condition of the classroom and of the activities, of each activity in which order. Okay, order is the most important thing that you are trying to seek, no? Gusto nyo may order. The correct answer, of course, here would be routine activities. So, routine activities po, may pagkakasunod-sunod yung mga ginagawa, may order, no? Hindi magulo. So, for some examples of your routine activities would be how to pass the paper forward, what's your routine whenever a person would want to go to the restroom, anong gagawin, whenever you get the devices, anong gagawin, paano ipapasa yung papers going to the students. Okay, so these are routine activities. How do you check the attendance, for example? Routine activities siya. May order sa classroom. Okay, so number 12, that's letter C po. Now we go to number 13. Which of the learner-centered psychological principles were not considered by the math teacher when he gave the class 30 problems in 50 minutes? Number 1, standards and assessment. Number 2, developmental skills. Number 3, motivational effective factors. Number 4, individual differences factors. Number 5, cognitive and metacognitive. And then you have the choices at the bottom. Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot? Meow Meow. Good evening po. Welcome. First time yata ni Ma'am Meow Meow. Sir Ralph. Dito naman sa Facebook may Sir Ralph. Okay, good evening po. Alright, ano kaya yung tamang sagot for question number 13? On Facebook, many people are answering the letter B, or some people are answering the letter B. On YouTube naman, letter A. Marami kayang liligaya or marami na namang iiyak? Okay, now going back to the question here, which of the learner-centered psychological principles were not considered by the math teacher when he gave the class 30 problems in 50 minutes? Okay, now question number, your choice one mo, standards, assessment. We all know when you say standards in assessment, this only pertains to the objectives. Okay, ito yung objectives mo. Assessment, of course, is how you measure whether your student has hit the objective or not, developmental skills of the students, how the students get to become ready for a certain task, motivational and effective factors, no? Lahat ng mga nakaka-apekto sa iyong estudyante. Individual differences, all of your students have differences as individuals. Kahit twins pa yan, iba-iba sila. May iba-iba yung learning style nila, iba-iba yung way nila of how to learn, no? Learning styles nila po pwedeng iba-iba. Merong iba sa kanila maaaring may special needs. Meron ding fast learners, merong slow learners. Cognitive and metacognitive, again, metacognition is learning about learning, thinking about thinking. Cognitive naman, it's all in the development of the brain. The best choice here would be letter C po, ang tamang sagot. Letter C, 2, 3, 4, and 5 because we can say na gusto niyang i-hit yung standards and assessment niya. Lahat ng objectives niya gusto niyang i-hit, no? Kaya masyado siyang maraming items na binigay, 30 problems in 50 minutes. Pero hindi niya isinaalang-alang itong 2, 3, and 4 mo. 2, 3, 4, and 5 mo. Okay, so that's the correct choice. Letter C po ang tamang sagot. Karamihan mali na naman. Okay, karamihan mali on YouTube. Okay, now we go to number 14. When enrollees cannot be accommodated in the public schools due to lack of teachers and classrooms, they are referred to the private schools under the tutorial program, adopt a school program, study now, pay later, or letter D, educational service contracting scheme. Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot dito? Ma'am Eunice Carbajal, make sure po that we're ready with the prayer tomorrow. If there is some slide that you'd want me to add to our presentation, then please give them to me later. Also po, please send me a private message if you can on Facebook or dun lamang po sa Gurong Pinoy na Facebook page so that I can send you the StreamYard link later. Thank you po, Ma'am Eunice. Okay, now many of you are answering the letter D on YouTube, also here on Facebook. And the correct answer is letter D. That's your Educational Service Contracting Scheme, or ESC, okay, Educational Service Contracting Scheme, program provided for by RA 8545, your Republic Act that amended RA 6728, or what we call the Expanded Government Assistance to Students and Teachers in Private Education, or GASPE. Okay, or GASPE. All right, so the correct answer is for number 14 is letter D po. Letter D. Okay, we go to number 15. Which of these activities indicates that teachers value their status as role models? Upholding the code of ethics, accomplishing the learner's report card, being popular in order to get promotion, holding on to their job despite the difficulties. Okay, thank you po, Ma'am Eunice. All right, what do you think is a correct answer for number 15? Okay, many people are answering with letter A, and of course, that's the correct answer. Okay, that's the correct answer, upholding the code of ethics. Nandun na po sa code of ethics lahat ng mga provisions kung paano tayo mag-act as teachers. Anong gagawin natin with our superiors, anong gagawin natin with our learners, with the parents, etc. Okay, so if you'd want to continue upholding your status as role models, it should be upholding the code of ethics. Code of ethics po. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Ella, for your ayuda. Thank you, Madam Secretary. Okay, number 16. A teacher who wants to conduct an intensive drill on basic sentence patterns should do pattern practice, assign fair work, explain pattern rules first, assume that the students know what they're doing. Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot for question number 16? Okay, for number 16, say you're an English teacher and you'd want your students to make or to have an intensive drill on basic sentence patterns. What is the first thing that you should do? Or before giving them the drill, what first? All right, people on YouTube are answering the letter C. Here on Facebook, okay, may A, may C. All right, now going back here, the correct answer is letter C. Tama yan, letter C. Explain pattern rules first. Paano sila paano ka makakakonduct ng drill mo on basic sentence patterns kung hindi mo pa na-explain kung paano nga sila magpo-form ng kanilang sentences. Ang do pattern practice kasi, pattern practice here would already be equal to your drill. Drill mo is already the practice. Okay, so parehas lang po yan sila. But before that, before you conduct your intensive drill, you should do or explain your pattern rules first. So that's why the correct answer is letter C. Now we go to number 17. A teacher would like a behavior to occur again and eventually become a habit. It should be modeled, corrected, initiated, reinforced. Okay, may lagnat si Ma'am Ella tsaka si Sir Loreto. Okay, ingat po kayo. Uminom po kayo ng maraming tubig. At syempre, if you can, then mag-quarantine po muna. Self-quarantine. Okay, now many people on YouTube, sama-sama na naman sila sa letter A. Okay, may mga iilan lamang na hindi letter A yung sagot. All right, here on Facebook. Okay, sa Facebook naman, karamihan ng sagot ay letter D. Okay, let us see who won this time. YouTube group kaya na ang sagot ay letter A or Facebook group na ang sagot ay letter D? Karamihan letter D. A teacher would like a behavior to occur again and eventually become a habit. So that means ginawa na siya ng bata. Okay, but you'd want to see the behavior again. You want the behavior to occur again and eventually become a habit. It should be, the correct answer is letter D, reinforced po. Hindi modeled, hindi modeled. Kasi ginagawa na siya ng bata. Okay, ginagawa na siya ng bata and you'd want it to happen again. Okay, so, and eventually, magiging habit siya. And so, the correct answer is reinforcement po, yung kailangan yung ibigay. It should be reinforced. This is a consequence applied that will strengthen an organism's future behavior whenever that behavior is preceded by a specific stimulus. Okay, so the correct answer is letter D. Letter D, mass murder. Madugo na naman dito sa ating YouTube. Okay, so letter D po ang tamang sagot. All right, now we go to 18. The following are reasons why it is important for teachers to know how to evaluate instructional materials, except letter A, teachers are able to use materials properly and effectively. Letter B, teachers are able to identify learner needs or learners' needs. Letter C, writing one's material is time-consuming. Letter D, not all books are error-free. Mga malisyoso talaga itong mga nasa Facebook. Oh. Pareho lang may sakit, bagay na daw. All right, so again, we'd like to welcome, we're almost done, no? Nasa question number 18 na tayo ng ating ProfEd. But still, we'd like to welcome all those people who have just tuned in to us, the first timers that we have, especially those who are on Facebook, no? Kasi karamihan sa ating Facebook first timer lamang dahil we started having our live streams on YouTube, no? So yung mga nasa YouTube namin, kaya naririnig nyo ako, no? Yung mga nasa Facebook, naririnig nyo na nagtutuksuhan na itong mga nasa YouTube because they have known each other for, I'm not sure how long na. Okay, may papunta na yata 2 months, 3 months. Okay, so dahil regularly and nandyan sila sa YouTube. Okay, so meron na silang interactions. Okay? Alright, so 18, the following are reasons why it is important for teachers to know how to evaluate. Bakit kailangan chine-check mo yung instructional materials mo? Okay, so these are the reasons except for one. Okay, ano kaya yung exception dito? What is the exception? The correct answer is letter C po. Writing one's material is time-consuming. That is our exception. We do evaluate instructional materials because with this or through this, we're able to use materials properly and effectively. Okay, so itatry mo muna siya, no? Bawal na mahirap na mali yung ano mo, hindi mo alam gamitin pagpunta mo sa classroom mo. Okay, hindi mo alam kung paano mo gamitin ang isang material. And then, letter B mo naman, teachers are able to identify learners' needs. Tama po yan. And not all books are error-free. Kailangan din chine-check nyo yung books nyo. Okay, so the correct answer is letter C. Writing one's material is time-consuming. That is the exception. Okay, now next one, number 19, an approach to teaching grammar where rules are given only after students have gone intensive pattern practice or done intensive pattern practice in various contexts is called letter A, formal, letter B, inductive, letter C, deductive, letter D, functional. Ma'am Vanna. Okay, Ma'am Ipumea. Bukas po, meron na naman tayong live stream, 7 p.m. So, again po, make sure that you're ready. By 6:30, mag-dinner na po kayo. And of course, make sure that you have your data para po wala kayong interruptions. Okay, so again, if you're watching us on Facebook, you can share this video so that we can help more people just like you to pass the let, to start a watch party. Also go to YouTube, check all the videos that we have there. We have more than 100 videos already. Okay, so more importantly, yung live streams natin, lahat ng previous live streams, yung GenEd playlist, yung ProfEd playlist natin, check nyo po lahat. No, karamihan dito sa YouTube, letter C. Okay, C yung sagot. Dito sa Facebook, may C. Marami din naman B. Okay, let's take a look at the correct answer. All right, the correct answer, of course, is inductive. Remember, when you say deductive kasi, you start with the rule, then you go to the specific examples or activities. Inductive mode would be the opposite. You start with your examples or activities, and then at the last part, you give your generalization or your rule. And therefore, here, sabi kasi dito, rules are given after your students have done practice. Okay, so practice muna, activities muna, bago rule. So that would be inductive po. Inductive po ang tamang sagot. Ayan, kailangan na naman yung band-aid dito sa YouTube. Okay, marami na namang naligwak. Okay, so hindi po letter C, that should have been letter B. Letter B po ang tamang sagot. All right, now we go to number 20, last one for today's discussion. Teachers should be encouraged to teach folk knowledge because, letter A, it is a mandate of DepEd. Letter B, it is in keeping with the indigenization of the curriculum. Letter C, it is crucial in facing the basics of daily living. Or letter D, it is included in the National Achievement Test. Okay, ano ba yan? Nagpalit pa si Ma'am Ella. Kaya nga, wag na kayong magpalit. Kung wala kang rason para palitan siya, mag-stick ka muna sa kanya. Okay? Palitan mo lamang siya kung meron ka talagang malaking rason. Malay mo, siya pala yung tama para sa'yo. I'm talking about the choice, ha? Hindi ito hugot. Hi, salamander. Ganyan din yan sa let, no? Wag ka muna magpapalit. Wag niyo munang palitan kung wala kayong malaking rason. Usually kasi, ang first choice nyo ay tama. Okay? Yung first choice nyo ay tama sa let. Okay, now many of you are answering with the letter B. Ganon din sa Facebook. YouTube also, letter B. Karamihan sa inyo. Let's take a look at the correct answer, and that would be letter B. It is in keeping with the indigenization of the curriculum. So ngayon nga, tinuturo na natin yung mother tongue. Okay, so as teachers, we are also encouraged to teach folk knowledge, no? Because ini-indigenize ng ating curriculum. Ini-include na yung indigenization, no? Yung mga kultura natin, kultura ng mga iba-ibang grupo, minority groups in the Philippines in our curriculum. So that's the correct answer, letter B. Oh, yan na naman. Sabi ni Ma'am Christine pala, hindi na siya magpapalit. Okay, so again, the correct answer for number 20 is letter B, and that is the last item for tonight's live stream. So again, please come back tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're still going to have 20 items GenEd, another 20 items for ProfEd. We start at 7 o'clock in the evening, no, 7 p.m. Philippine time. Okay, so make sure that you have your devices ready with you and that we are going to be ready tomorrow with our live stream. Okay, so please make sure that you eat your dinner before you start with our live stream. So again, live stream tomorrow would be at 7 p.m. Okay, now Sir Efren cannot do the prayer today or tonight, and so we are going to reserve whatever it is that he has prepared for next Saturday. Next Saturday na lamang po, Sir Efren. Okay, Pastor Efren, because he needs to have his laptop fixed. Okay, so again, we'll see each other again tomorrow by 7 p.m. Make sure that you are with us by 7 p.m. Do not be late, and make sure that you have your notebook, your writing utensils with you, and we are going to learn together again tomorrow. Okay, so good night po. So again, ito po ang inyong gurong Pinoy na nagsasabing, sabay-sabay po tayo, maliit man na butil ng mga kaalaman. Ang dulo nito ay malaking kaginawaan. Maraming salamat po. Good night in the Philippines. Good afternoon wherever you may be. And good morning here from South Carolina, USA. Bye! See you tomorrow!